Hi, it's Nick from UK Gardening. We're now in the end of January and I've just been doing some weeding around at my mum's house and noticed that this blackcurrant, I haven't actually pruned it in the couple of years that she's been here, so I thought I'd just do a video on how to prune it. Blackcurrant's actually fruit on last season's wood or old wood, so if you just cut it to the base, you won't actually have any fruit later on in the year. So what we want to do is we want to remove any dead, disease or dying branches, any branches that are crowding the centre to allow air to flow through and reduce the amount of pests and diseases that the plant might get, and create a sort of classic goblet shaped plant. The first thing I've done is removed any weeds from around the base of the plant. The weeds just compete for nutrients and moisture, and they can also be hiding places for insects and slugs and snails that may affect any plants. They won't affect blackcurrants necessarily, but it's always good to get rid of the weeds around the base of shrubs. You can see here that the blackcurrant is starting to bud. These will be leaves and new shoots coming out of here. Blackcurrants produce fruit on old wood, as I said previously, typically 2 to 3 year old wood. Anything older than that you really want to remove, and you can tell that the difference here. You can see something that's perhaps 2 years old. You can see it's got a reddy colour. The new growth has got a sort of a downy white covering to it, and anything older has sort of got calluses and nodules and things on it. So I'll actually remove this bit and keep these bits. The first thing I'm going to do is remove this old branch right down at ground level. Lovely smell of blackcurrants when you do cut it. And that's at least 3 years old. Put that in the compost bin, and there's another one down there as well. So, and they're dead pieces, so it's the start of the dead, diseased and dying. So I'll remove that. These bits in the middle I'm going to get rid of. They're fresh growth, this year's growth. They're just crowding into the centre. I'm going to remove this other one in the middle here. Really low down, because there isn't a lot of fresh buds on that. And then remove this other one. It's coming out the middle. Again, I'm going to get it low down. The loppers, the pruners just won't go through it. And take that one out. The blackcurrant will actually send up new shoots from below ground as well. Need to just cut this one out of here. I'm going to cut that one out of there. It's quite drastic, but this hasn't been done, as I said before. This bit doesn't actually have any growth on it at all, so it's completely dead, so removing that one. This branch here is crossing. There we go, remove that really low down. There's a little bit here that's crossing. I'm going to cut that down really low. This is another dead branch, so take that down again as far as I can, down to there. That's a damaged piece. These are dead. You can tell they're dead because they're quite woody, and if you use your secateurs to rub the bark, you'll see it's dead wood. So cut that off again down there. Right, I've removed all the dead, disease, dying, crossing branches. I've got a few branches that are coming out over the lawn, so they'll just get hit by a lawnmower. So I'm going to remove this one here, and I don't know if you can see there's an upward facing bud there, so I'm just going to cut to close to the bud, like that. That one's got a bud tip on it anyway, so I might come back and actually remove that later. It's also rubbing on here, so actually what I'm going to do is take that one right back to there. Get rid of that whole lot. Because that'll actually come up here. This one, again, it's coming over the lawn, but not too bad. I might cut this one. There's a bud over this side, so I'm going to cut that. Actually, you want to cut it so that the rain runs away from the bud. So a slanted cut. The high point is on the bud side, sloping down, so any rain, moisture will actually just run off. And then lastly, this one that's coming over the lawn as well, I'm going to remove that down to there. It may look a bit drastic that I've cut out quite a bit of this wood, but hopefully I'll still get plenty of blackcurrant. So I've got a number of branches on here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've probably got a dozen or so branches on there, so it should create a good yield of blackcurrants. You can do this anytime from November through to probably mid to late March, but obviously doing it this January time, you can see a lot easier which are the dead bits of the branches and which are live and which have got the buds coming through. And then next year what I'll do is I'll prune it again, and over time it'll actually generate this nice sort of goblet bowl shaped plant. This is not the most ideal place to have the blackcurrant bush. They really need a bit more space to spread out. They'll spread out to around about 4 or 5 feet, I guess. But anyway, it is what it is. It will produce fruit later on this year. And that's about it really. Thanks very much for your time. Hope you enjoyed the film. If you've got any questions, please post them below. The first thing we need to do with this blackcurrant is actually remove any of the old dead wood. Well, we need to do 3 things. We need to remove the dead, the disease and the dying. Blackcurrants will actually fruit on old wood, so any wood that they produced last year, that'll bear fruit this year. So if you remove all the growth, you won't actually get any blackcurrants till next year. So what we want to do, this plant hasn't actually been pruned. I don't know if it's actually been pruned before. It doesn't actually look like it. It's had a few bits taken off it, but that might have just been because of the lawn. So what I want to do is remove any of the dead branches, open up the centre a little bit, and actually just give it a bit more of a sort of goblet shape. So the first bit I can see that's dead is that branch over there. So I think that might be the loppers. I have actually weeded this to get rid of all the competing plants. All the competing this bit here is dead, but if I follow this up, this is live, that's live there. But it's in the middle of everything, so I'm going to take that one out of. I'm going to take that out of there. And as soon as I take that out of there, you can see it's a lot less congested. There's a dead bit there. I'm actually going to prune it back to, there's a little spur, little growth there. I'm going to cut it, sloping away from the stem. There's another dead bit there. This bit here is crossing. It's got some buds on it, but it is crossing. It's also in the centre of the plant, so I'm going to get rid of these two in the centre of the plant. And that allows me to cut down more. Okay, what else have we got? This is dead. Dead down here, dead down here. So I can take that off of there. This bit is going back into the plant, which I don't really want. And this here, I'm going to take two bits off. I'm going to take that bit off of there, so it's dead. I'm going to take this off of here because it's crossing. I might end up taking this whole bit out because it doesn't look that healthy. Got one little bit there, one little bud. I'm going to take that whole branch out. There's a very little growth there. The blackcurrant will actually send up more shoots from under the ground, and it'll send up more shoots from the base of the plant. Just going to open up the centre a little bit. I don't want the branches growing into the centre. Take that out there. This one here I'm going to remove to there. Any weak or weedy growth will actually just, it won't produce many fruits, and that will actually just take away energy from the rest of the plant. So it's better to just remove them now. This one's actually again growing into the middle and it's crossing, so what I'm going to do there is cut that. But when you cut, I'm going to cut to that little branch with a bud on the end there. But when I cut, I'm going to cut an angle so that the slope edge is actually away from the bud. That will allow any rain to just flow off. And I think that's where I'm going to leave that one. It might look a bit bedraggled. As I say, it hasn't been pruned in a number of years, if at all. I'm going to prune it again next year, and over a 2 or 3 year cycle that will actually turn into a nice little bush. You can do this pruning anytime from the end of November through to middle of March. Just keep an eye on weather forecasts, because if we have any frost forecast, just come out and throw a fleece or a piece of curtain netting over it, just to protect the buds and any flower buds that are actually forming. And that's about it. Thanks very much for your time. If you've got any questions, please post them below. Cheers. Bye.